The barbaric killing of Tailor Kanhaiya Lal in Udaipur, Rajasthan by two Muslim extremists has shocked the nation. There can be no ifs and buts about this gruesome killing. No rationalization, no defense, no justification. The two butchers not only slashed him to death in broad daylight for expressing support for Nupur Sharma, but later posted a video taking pride in what they did. They have been arrested and deserve the severest punishment under the law. There are also reports now being investigated by the National Investigation Agency of another murder of a chemist in Amravati who, like Kanhaiya Lal, expressed support for BJP's spokesperson Nupur Sharma. These all incidents tells us that our anger is running high. The Udaipur killers were attacked by an outraged mob when they were produced by the police in court. It is essential to establish whether this dastardly crime was a random act or a symptom of a qualitatively different and much more serious entry of Islamic terror into India. Thus far, Al-Qaeda, a multinational Islamic extremist jihadist organization funded in 1988 by Osama bin Laden, has hardly had any direct presence in India. Some Kashmiri groups have identified with it, but there is no evidence, at least in the public realm, of any organized footprint of the group in the country. Specifically, there is no record of territorial claims, group activity, or kidnapping of civilian or government officials by Al-Qaeda. On June 7, AQIS, a subgroup of Al-Qaeda focused on the subcontinent, threatened suicide attacks in Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Mumbai and Delhi to fight for the dignity of our Prophet, in response to Nupur Sharma's remark. In addition to Al-Qaeda, there is ISIS, Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, which, although almost defeated in its own region, is still alive and retains the ambition of establishing an Islamic caliphate in the world through force and terror. The heinous killing of Kanhaiya Lal was ominously similar to the kind of killings ISIS specializes in. It sets a new threshold of barbarism whose origins and planning must be thoroughly investigated. According to primary investigations in Kanhaiya Lal case, the team said the special investigation team set up by the Rajasthan government suggests that one of the accused, Mohammad Riaz Ansari, was in contact with Pakistan-based terror groups such as the Dawat-e-Islam and had surfed ISIS videos. The other accused had gone to Nepal twice, had contacts in Dubai, and was also in touch with terror groups abroad. It is appropriate then that the central government has dubbed this killing a terror incident and deployed the National Investigation Agency to probe the possibility of international terrorism in the murder. It is unfortunate that greater police protection was denied to Kanhaiya Lal even when he brought it to the notice of the local police that he was receiving death threats. To counter international religious terrorism, better policing and intelligence gathering is essential. The likelihood of organized Islamic terror with extraterritorial sponsorship entering India is a very serious development with unforeseen consequences and must be nipped in the bud on a war footing. Members of our Muslim community are a key element in this endeavor. Any likely suspects who have become or are becoming radicalized and appear to be in touch with foreign terrorist organizations must be exposed. The government must keep a close watch on extremist Islamic organizations in the country, and those pursuing a policy of religious terrorism should be banned. Any attempt to tarnish the entire Muslim community for this heinous act must be vigorously opposed. But a new responsibility does sit on our Muslim leaders. They have unconditionally condemned this killing, and so have leading Muslim organizations like the Jamiat Ulama-e-Hind, and the All India Muslim Personal Law Board. What is essential now is for these leaders and organizations to interact more substantially with the Muslim community. Unfortunately, the AIMPLB, which presents itself as the leading body of Muslim public opinion, is highly conservative, tending to reinforce the grip of hardline Muslim elements on the community. For instance, the AIMPLB was against the banning of the regressive triple talaq practice, opposes the right of children for free and compulsory education, and supports the regressive and exclusionist madrasa system. Many Muslim leaders have occupied high constitutional posts but have not always used this platform to reach out to the wider Muslim community and encourage more modern, liberal, and pro-change thinking within it. Nothing will please international Islamicist terror groups more than India dissembling into endemic and violent religious strife. This has to be prevented at any cost. Terrorism, communalism poses a great threat to national unity and integration. The main objective of terrorism is to create a climate of extreme fear, psychosis, and thus it undermines the confidence of people in the political system and the government. It is the biggest challenge to national integration and democracy. Threat of communal readiness has shaken the very unity and integrity of our nation. No part of the country from Kargil to Kanyakumari and from Guwahati to Chowpatty is free from communal disturbances. Religious fundamentalism and communal fanaticism have raised their ugly heads, which vitiate the atmosphere of peace and tranquility of the nation. The ugliest manifestation of this trend is the occurrence of communal riots with a disconcerting frequency in some parts of the country. In the sordid scenario, peace becomes a mirage for the people who suffer the most. Misinterpretation of religion by fundamentalists is said to be the chief reason for spreading the fire of communalism. India is a nation accommodating different political parties which are formed on the basis of caste, language, region, and personal charisma. These parties play a dubious role in disintegration of the nation. They give top priority to their own interests at the cost of national interests. They uphold their own values of self-aggrandizement and are busy amassing wealth. They do not think of the interest of the nation and continue to mislead people through their false propaganda and slogans to upgrade their positions. A great responsibility, therefore, sits on the government and the ruling party, the BJP. The policies of aggressive Hindutva and Islamophobia they have encouraged and nurtured creates the most fertile ground for the spread of religious terror. The Supreme Court has in its observations linked the incendiary remarks by Nupur Sharma to the Udaipur tragedy. It has also asked why the Delhi police has not yet arrested her. Organizations like the Bajrang Dal and others within the Sangh Parivar are clearly out of control and have become used to taking the law in their own hands under the benign eye of BJP, both at the center and in states. The so-called Dharma Sansad in Haridwar made a public call for the genocides of Muslims. The BJP, RSS and the government must seriously introspect on where this myopic bigotry will lead India. Majoritarian agendas may lead to short-term political dividends, but are a guarantee for long-term national pain. Ultimately, this fratricidal war puts at risk the very unity of our nation. A nation at war with itself will suffer economic consequences too, including in terms of foreign investments. The reaction of West Asian countries, a source of foreign investment, where some 8 million NRIs live and where much of our oil comes from, is there for all to see. When a deliberate policy of religious hatred becomes the handmaiden of politics, it is common citizens, be they Hindu or Muslim or any other community, who suffer the most. The country badly needs the restoration of sanity. Thank you for watching Unplugged TV India. If you like the video, please hit like, subscribe and share on all. So press the bell icon to get the latest updates.